What do you want out of life? That's a real question for many people in their teens to young adult years. Do you want money, a family, stability? A common answer that you'll hear from people is that they want to help people, in whatever sense that is, be it physical or mental. There are some people who go beyond. There are some people who will put their own lives on the line time and time again to save people in need of help. Those people are heroes. Although I'm sure you all know about the story because you clicked on this video, I'll fill you in a bit on My Hero Academia. The story follows Izuku Midoriya, also known as Deku. He lives in a world where some people are born with quirks that give them all kinds of power. Deku was born without a quirk, but still dreams of being a hero, much to the annoyance of his classmates. Deku has a run-in with the #1 hero, All Might, who gives him his quirk, called One for All. The story is about Deku mastering his quirk and beating bad guys with his classmates. Pretty basic shonen plot. But beneath this basic exterior is some of the most interesting psychological principles and ideas that there are. At a first glance, it makes no evolutionary sense for people to sacrifice themselves to save others who they don't even know. So why would they do it? The real reason is unknown. When you sit down and speak with people like firefighters and the like, you get some answers that really make a lot of sense. They are just doing what they would want someone to do if they were in another person's shoes. That's nice and all, but I do believe that there's something deeper to this, something closer to the heart. And you'd be hard-pressed to find another anime character with more heart than Deku. And when I say heart, I mean empathy, a deep connection with others that surpasses any fears or worries of failure. When you care about a person who you don't even know to the point where you sacrifice yourself, no villain can stand in your way. One of the first big shows of empathy that we see from Deku is in the very first episode. The boy who has been his bully for as long as he can remember is being controlled by the sludge villain. He was still quirkless at this time. Anything he could have done was practically guaranteed a loss, but Deku didn't care. He ran in, 10 toes down, to save Bakugo. Deku gave even the greatest hero of all time the inspiration to lock in and take the dub. Deku's compassion for Bakugo surpassed all of their negative history together, and I feel like this touches at the very depth of what makes someone heroic. It's not about being strong, it's not about training, it's not even about bravery. It's about caring for others so much that nothing else matters. Sure, the others will obviously help you in being a hero, but if you don't foundationally care for others over yourself, you cannot be a true hero. I believe that where this empathy in Deku comes from, aside from simply genetics, which is obviously out of his control, is from his past. As you know, Deku was born without a quirk, and that really hurt him, especially because of his admiration that he held for all heroes. When he was told that he couldn't be a hero simply because of the way he was born, you can only imagine how deeply that impacted his psyche. He didn't let that stop him though. Deku continued fighting even when the odds were stacked against him. One of the main reasons why Deku fights and cares so much for strangers is because of his connection and understanding of suffering. Don't get me wrong, Deku doesn't have a tragic backstory by any means, but he does have experience in being powerless, and he doesn't want anyone else to be in danger because of it. One of the greatest moments in MHA, in my opinion, is when Deku is fighting Muscular and has to defend Kota. As great as the fight is, my point really isn't about that. The truly amazing thing that Deku does is empathizing with Kota even when he doesn't have to because of Kota's hatred for heroes. Keep in mind that being a hero is literally everything to Deku, but he puts all that aside to think about and understand where Kota is really coming from. Deku empathizes with Kota's loss of his parents because of them being heroes. He recognizes the negatives that come alongside helping people. Deku shows not just understanding and empathy for Kota's feelings, but humility by listening to and caring for a kid who's just angry and confused. Although empathy is at the forefront of being a hero and is a necessary step in the process, no matter how much you care for others, you still do have to be courageous. In a biological sense, courage is when you're put into a fight or flight situation, and rather than feeling fear, you feel that you must tackle whatever is standing in your way. This can come either as a one-off, spur-of-the-moment feeling, or you could truly just be someone who jumps headfirst into situations where you or others are in danger. The hormone oxytocin plays a very big role in settling you down and getting you out of a state of fear and helping you lock in on the task at hand. Deku is the purest example of a hero, yet he also demonstrates what it means to be human through his actions that demonstrate a variety of psychological traits and principles. Deku has a very strong moral code in what he believes is good. But that doesn't mean that he eliminates anyone who disobeys his code of ethics. Through his experience as a kid and through his times at UA, Deku learns how to deal with people and situations appropriately, in a manner that most people could never. Deku may have experience, but that doesn't mean he's fearless. He's still just a kid after all. A kid facing some of the strongest villains in the world with the weight of the greatest power of all time on his shoulders. This is the reason why Deku is so inspirational to so many people, because he's not just some guy who is strong from the jump. He grows and learns what it means to be a hero. He's an attainable ideal for anyone who wants to grow up to help society. Whether it be being a doctor, firefighter, or anything in between, you too can be a hero. As always, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you learned something new. Please drop a like, subscribe, and comment if you like this video. See you in the next one.